Aloha, what's up everyone? I'm JayDreamerZ. Welcome to today's episode. We're going to be talking about the moon landing today. A couple days, or in one day, it'll be New Year's Eve. And I thought this is a pretty important topic. So instead of doing omens today, I thought I would jump into the chat and ask you guys if you think we went to the moon. And I'm going to put your comments up on screen. For example, Browsy in the live chat says, no, we didn't. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Good video, good talk tonight. Yeah, a lot of people are going to have really strong opinions about this and maybe just really strong feelings. You know, some people have evidence. Some people have information to share. Some people just don't buy it. Some people do buy it. I want to know what you guys think ultimately. I was watching, and I want to give a shout out to Carol Wadke. Thank you so much for your PayPal donation, as well as Stephen Green and Rebecca Lamp for your Cash App donations. I really appreciate you guys with the holiday cheer. And I also wanted to say it was nice to meet Austin, one of my subscribers, Austin. Drove out to a coffee shop, hung out with him for a bit, and it was really nice. It's cool when I get to know you guys personally through letters, through my P.O. box, or the chat, or the comments, or sometimes even in person. It's really nice for me personally. Now, the other day I was watching the Danny Jones podcast. I think that's what it's called. Danny Jones podcast? Yeah. He's got about 1 million subscribers. He had an Apollo astronaut who allegedly walked on the moon, this like 4,000-year-old man, as a guest. And little did the astronaut know that Danny Jones also had another guest on his show at the same time, and that was the infamous Bart Sibrel, or Sibrel. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's the guy who's famous for getting punched in the face when he asks astronauts to swear on the Bible if they actually landed on the moon. Damn, this guy has such good information, man. It was such an intriguing, you got to check it out after this show, obviously. But man, it's like, here, let me pull up some screen sharing and I'll get you guys' comments on there too. I see Neo. What's up, Neo? Rubicon. Oh, thank you. I'm feeling a little bit better. Still got a little congestion going on, but I appreciate you. Did we go to the moon? Hell no. All right. Let me do some screen sharing here. Let's see. This one? Yeah, that's it. That looks about right. Okay, so here's the astronaut. Looking like this poor old man. I mean, I don't know if he's poor or whatever. I don't know how innocent he is. Now listen, as I'm listening to this guy, okay? Like he kept on saying two main things. Once they actually got into a debate, which was about 30 minutes into the program, they kind of sideswiped the astronaut. I don't think he knew it was going to be a debate about whether or not they landed on the moon. And as a side note, this little energy drink looking thing he has right here says White Rabbit on it. I think that was interesting. They like faced the camera and put White Rabbit on there. But anyway, yeah, about 30 minutes into it, Bart Sibrel jumped in with all the reasons why nobody actually walked on the moon or landed on the moon. And it caught this guy way off guard. He was trying, he's being a trooper. The two main things he kept on saying was, what is the point of this discussion? Like over and over and over again to every evidence that they would give. It's very obvious what the point was. The point was, I don't believe you walked on the moon, buddy. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people. So here's my evidence. Here's my reasoning as to why I don't think you walked on the moon. And he kept saying, what is the point of this discussion? I don't understand, you know? And then when he would try to retort and like give evidence, he would give the same evidence over and over and over and over again. Now, mind you, he's like 4,000 years old. So, you know, I can't hold that against him. But on the other hand, you would think you would remember a thing or two if you walked on the moon, if that was real. But the evidence he kept giving was like, how do you explain 400 pounds of moon rocks? How do you explain the moon rocks? And he like even though they explained the moon rocks and they showed that like, you know, there's different examples where they were proven beyond the shadow of a doubt to be petrified wood or hoaxes or fake rocks or whatever. Which personally, I think all rocks come from Earth. but that's me. But this guy wouldn't let it go. He's like, well, how do you explain the moon rocks then? like as if they didn't just cover that, right? All right, let me jump into the chat. Magentarism says, I watched that episode too. It was classic. Like, man, it was so good to watch Bart Cybrell. Here, let me show you what he looks like. He's the dude that looks like Uncle Fester. I'll get on him too. Hold on, let me get this comment down. So this is Bart. He's got a sweet website too. We might check it out here in a minute. But what I'd like to do, there's Bart. So he's the guy who went around asking astronauts to like swear on the Bible that they walked on the moon. Listen, first and foremost, let's answer the question. Okay? Hold on, let me get this down. Screen share. I gotta label that screen share. Window capture? Yeah, there we go. Oh, the question is, did we go to the moon? No. Emphatically, empirically, absolutely not. I know I didn't go to the moon. And we includes me, personally. So I can honestly say, no, we didn't go to the moon at all. I know that for a fact because I know my life, and I can speak for myself. We definitely didn't go to the moon. Someone else claimed to have went to the moon or walked on the moon or whatever. Now, can you go to the moon as in like, the luminary? I think it's a luminary in the sky. You guys can feel free to tell me what you think. Nathan Oakley, hey, what's up, dude? It's been a minute, man. Old school Nathan Oakley's in the chat. Entropy debunks the journey. What'd you say? Oh, yeah, there's so many things that like debunk all of that or whatever. You guys can feel free to put your evidence, by the way, in the chat, and I'll share it with everybody. I'll read it out loud. We'll talk about it too. But let me get this screen share pulled back up here. There it is. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to play the Apollo 11 footage while we talk about things. And just to let you know what this says, this is going to be the official footage. I have sped up the footage to like 2.5 times, which I feel is more appropriate. I feel like the footage looks like it's been slowed down, and there's a lot of anomalies that really pop out when you actually speed up the footage. So I have sped up this footage, plus it's like 3 hours long. So it says here, on July 20th, 1969, men from the planet Earth first set foot on the moon. This is a restored version of the television broadcast as it was received and distributed to the people of the world. Let's see. I'm not going to play the audio, so I'm just going to play the video, and, this is going to be kind of like some background as we discuss the moon landing. But what I'd like to know, so here they are in Houston or wherever this is supposed to be. Me personally, I'm pretty sure this is all, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers say, this is all in a Hollywood basement somewhere. So I'm not convinced. But what do you think? And if you do think that we lived on the moon, if there happens to be somebody out there that is randomly watching and you're like, we landed on the moon, damn it, and you're really taking that stance, feel free to share your thoughts as to why you feel we did, I don't believe we did. I don't trust the government, first and foremost, and NASA is the government. They're a branch of the government. They are the United States government, okay? Make no mistake about that. This is not independent researchers. This is not a bunch of high school nerds that got together and decided that we're all going to go to the moon and we represent the common people. This is the government, the same government as Bart made the point over and over again in this video. He made the point over and over again. This is the same exact government that kills people, murders its presidents, steals from people, robs them, calls it taxes, tests things on their own people. There's plenty of evidence that they've tested radiation and poisoning and stuff on their own people. And then they just admit it later on and they say, yeah, that was a different time back then or whatever. No, they're still doing it, man. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. So this is allegedly the lander, and this is the astronaut getting out and trying to hook it all up. Now, what do you guys think? Okay, I want to know, what do you think? Golden Child Productions is in the chat. What's up, man? Says JayDreamerZ, I've been waiting for the skeptic to say this is inconceivable. Inconceivable. Let's see. What else we got here? I'm looking in the chat. If you want to get my attention, by the way, type in my name. That helps out because I just kind of skim the chat looking to see. I have to determine if you guys are talking to amongst yourselves or to me trying to get my attention. So typing in my name at Jay or at JayDreamerZ helps out a lot. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Follow the white rabbit, right? Miami said something in her last comment. I don't think we went to the moon because of so many reasons, but most importantly, how was the president speaking to them live, and where did they get the photos for the newspaper the very next day? That's a good point. So allegedly, the president of the United States called the moon, called the astronauts on the moon. I mean, he really, I'm pretty sure, you know, the story would go that he called Houston, and then Houston patched him through or whatever, and they, you know, put him on speaker. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know I mean, that'd be even more ridiculous if he actually called the moon and they had, like, you know, a walkie-talkie or a phone on the moon, but they patched him through for sure. And from what I remember, there was like zero delay. There was like no delay. He's like, hey, how's the moon? Oh, it's good, Mr. President, or whatever. And there's supposed to be a delay. But not only that, just the technology, right? Bart Cybrell in this debate, Uncle Fester, he makes really good points about the technology. I mean, I put this in the title of the thumb of the presentation for today. It's been over 55 years. It's been over a half a century. Do you know how much technology advances in a half a century, especially since the 1900s, right? Let me give you an example. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but here's an airplane that came out 56. It's been 56 years since they allegedly walked on the moon. Okay, so 56 years before 1969, this airplane, this little biplane, first came out. Okay, this was like one of the early airplanes of the early 1900s. 56 years later, they have the SR-71 Blackbird. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like, it flew from New York to London in like less than 2 hours. Okay, when it would take this plane right here over a day to fly from the same distance, or at least from the East Coast to the West Coast. But this is how much technology, even within the field of aviation or travel at all. And then they go to this. When the SR-71 came out, it was roughly around the same time they went to the moon. And then they have all of a sudden rockets and stuff. So here we are, 56 years later. Shouldn't our technology match? You know, going from bipedal airplanes or whatever you call these, double-winged airplanes or whatever, that go very slow, to the SR-71 Blackbird and rocketry going into space. Shouldn't our technology also? I mean, we have smartphones and cell phones and Wi-Fi and 5G and, you know, damn near on the verge of like teleportation. And no one's on the moon. There's nothing on the moon. There's nobody going to the moon actively. You know what I mean? And some of the points that they try to make are, well, I mean, it's the first time we went, and they say we, it was just to see if we could do it. It was just an accomplishment. And then once we did it, you know, like 6 times, then we kind of just like we were over it. We were just over it. That's basically their reasoning. We were just over it. We decided to put our money elsewhere. No, you don't. Okay? That's not the trend. That's not the trend in humanity, is that you decide to just put your money elsewhere when you're on the cusp and on the verge of like the greatest discoveries ever. Sorry, pal. That's not how that works. You don't just, like I'm going to believe you. You just decided to put your money elsewhere when you are on the verge of like, you know, the most mind-blowing discoveries that a person can even think of. Nah, you didn't decide to just put your money elsewhere. Sorry. That's a terrible excuse. And I feel sorry for anybody that would believe something like that. I'm going to fast forward this moon video. This first part's kind of boring when they're setting everything up. Here, let me get it to where they're like adjusting the camera and stuff. You can actually see some action back here. Okay, let me jump back into the chat. I want to hear what you guys think. Type in at JayDreamerZ, get my attention. Let's see, we got... I see Jacob Jacob Bodson says, JayDreamerZ, look at the Sneffelsnes Peninsula. It's a map on your 21 Pilots Omens video. The glaciers encircled the area on the map, which Jules Verne called the entrance to the center of the Earth. Whew, man, I'm probably not going to remember that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm moon focused right now. That's interesting. And if I happen to see that comment later, I might research that. But right now I'm kind of like focused on the moon. All right. What else we got? There's no telephone poles on the moon. That's a good point, right? What is on the moon? I'm telling you right now, like I have a strong theory of what I believe the moon is. I think I think the moon is that we call the moon is a projection. It's a light in the sky, as it says in the Bible. It's a luminary, and it's projected by something. So there's something of substance that looks like the moon that we can't see from here, which I believe is a portion of the firmament, which I call the apex dome. And that explains to me why we only see one side of the moon. Let's see. Miami MST3K says the entire space shuttle had less RAM memory and technology than the first generation iPhone by their own admission. Yeah, just the technology, it was terrible back then. You know what I mean? What was that? What just happened? Hold on, let me rewind this video. Why did that just jump? Hold on, I like it when they move the camera around. I want to see what's going on here. I mean, it screams fake, okay? Just going off of an intuition alone, they're on Earth. That's just my intuition is telling me, like, they're on Earth. This is way too exaggerated, way too bumpy. This is one of the effects that modern movie people do when they want you to feel like it's real, is they'll shake the camera. They actually call it a camera shake, because I do a lot of video editing and stuff, and I'll put sometimes a slight camera shake on like the credits or something, because it helps you to lose yourself in the fantasy of it. Okay, but like there's no need for this much. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? And like, look how dark and black it is. Like, it looks like a movie set. That, to me, it looks like a movie set. And movie sets can be pretty realistic. You know what I mean? But this one doesn't even look that realistic to me personally. And I watch a lot of movies. Oh, I see. He just kind of moved the camera and it made it look like it moved. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to leave it there and jump back into the chat. Let's see. What's up, Ajax? Good to see you. Ajax says, the moon is reflected and refracted negative energy from the black hole sun off of our dome. Well, I like that better than it's a rock that's reflecting the sun's light. Like, really? It's reflecting it like a mirror? You know what I mean? Like, what a terrible excuse. If it was, just suppose it was a rock, right? That's just spherical in nature. It's gonna reflect the light in all directions and just scatter it. It'd be so diffuse. It would never be as bright as you see it, especially these days. The moon's been getting ridiculously bright. What's up? We got Bree Dog in the chat who says, oh wait, that's Stanley Kubrick, my bad. Neo says, did Stanley Kubrick film the moon landing? That is the rumor. Somebody filmed it, and I believe he was, you know, the best candidate at the time. Yeah, Kubrick. A lot of people believe it was Kubrick. This video is so fake, I know. Let's see, who else? I skipped somebody. Bree Dog. Bree Dog says, this is why I watch Jay. It's such a breath of fresh air. Oh, thank you. Feeling crazy in the world, and I come here and I feel so much lighter. Yeah, because let's talk about the common sense. This stuff's common sense to people like myself. I don't really care if it's ridiculous and psychotic and crazy to the majority of the people on Earth, because to me and to my little pocket of like-minded individuals, the majority of the people on Earth are satanic and evil and psychotic and upside down and backwards in their thinking and quite literally insane. So I take it as a badge of honor whenever they're calling me insane. You know what I mean? We got Magentarism, who says, JayDreamerZ, what do you think of the double sun and the double moon seen lately? I don't know. I'm going to talk more about the moon today. All right. Dabbing Good says, JayDreamerZ, how about we have had 3 moons? Google it. Also, I believe it's a hologram and of an electrode, and we had 3, one for each temple. We lived under the moons, the stars, the dark ages. Very good. I think there's probably some truth to that. I've come across the idea of there being 3 different luminaries in the sky at the same time. especially in during the Dark Ages, I would say, or the Middle Ages at the very latest. Let's see. Now, what do you guys think? I'm looking for you guys in the chat. What do you think? As far as like, you know, why do you think we went to the moon, or why do you think we didn't go to the moon? I would like to hear it. If you have no idea, you could just be honest and say, I have no idea. But I would like to actually request everyone, if you're watching and you have access to the chat, I'm asking you to participate. Okay? I'm asking. You don't have to, but I'm asking you to. I want to know what you think, because I like to do these types of experiments. I went to the dollar store the other day to buy some stuff, and I wondered what the cashier thought. So I just asked him. I said, "Hey man, do you think the government really landed on the moon?" And I just left it at that, just to see what he would say, you know? And you could tell he was kind of stumbling, like he didn't know what to say. So I found that oftentimes people don't really know what to say. They might have an inkling, they might have like a scratching sensation or a feeling about it, but they've never articulated it. And that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking what your thoughts are, which means I'm asking you to actually think. And I'd like to read your thoughts aloud, live on the air today. Not to put people down or make people feel weird or anything like that, but to help you. This is an exercise. We need to exercise our mind. If you stop thinking, if you just go off of just kind of general feelings and allow other people like myself and other talking heads or YouTube people or whatever to do all of the thinking and to come up with all of the theories and the ideas and stuff, then you're in the same place that you were in before when you allowed the government to do it. So I'm trying to help you out. That's all. Hold on. Let me fix my screen here. Where is it? Window. Capture. Boom. Nope, that wasn't it. There we go. I'm trying to make it bigger. Look at him messing around with the flag. It's all waving in the wind. In the lunar wind. It must be solar wind. That's another thing. They come up with all these crazy words to basically contradict everything that they taught us in school when we were kids growing up. Like solar wind. In the vacuum of space? Solar wind? There's no wind in space. There's not supposed to be wind in space. They're coming up with all kinds of crazy new words. Look at that flag go, man. All right, let me jump back into the chat. Type in @JayDreamerZ to get my attention, and I'll be happy to read your comment. I would like to know what you think. Do you believe that we landed on the moon? Do you believe anybody landed on the moon? Do you believe this happened? And it's okay if you do. It's okay if you're not sure. You know what I mean? Look at why do they look like ghosts? Do you see that ghost effect where you can see right through the astronaut? Genius is in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, how about the moon apparently ringing like a bell? Have you heard of that? I have heard of that. Now, my theory is I believe that they're experimenting with the dome. I believe there's a dome above the Earth. And not everybody believes that. It's totally fine. That's just my personal thing. I think there's a dome. And I think that they have shot all kinds of crap at the dome for different reasons. And if the dome above us is hit by something or an explosion or something, yeah, it's going to ring like a bell. And that is, when they talk about the moon, it's code for the apex dome, which is at the center of the firmament, basically. All right, Browsy's in the chat and says, Jay, when I looked into NASA's budget and realized that they have like $70 million a day to spend, it showed me more than why they use the space illusion. That's a decent paycheck for CGI vids and images. I'd like to talk about the money aspect because a lot of people go straight to that. Thank you so much for sharing your opinion, Browsy. I appreciate you. And I totally respect your opinion and your views and your thoughts and ideas too. Look at this. You can see right through that freaking astronaut. What is the deal? Does that scream? To me, it screams green screen because I'm using a green screen right now. But you can see right through that guy. It's crazy. Oh no, you don't understand. It's really complicated. You have to go to college for 8 years to figure this out and why you can see through astronauts and why there's ghosts following them around on the moon. Anyway, the money thing. I personally believe that these types of things are set up by the who I call the hidden hand. Okay, the elite of the elite, the people whose names you don't know. Okay, not presidents, not kings, not queens, the people above them. I believe that there is such an organization of individuals. I believe that they are apocalyptic survivors, or that their lineage stems from apocalyptic survivors who passed on information about the apocalypse from firstborn to firstborn, or favorite to favorite, or whatever. And they rule the world. I believe they actually rule the world. When you rule the world, you don't care about money. You know what I mean? All the slaves care about money. The people who rule the world, life is their currency. Life is what they value, or death, but their own preservation of their own life at the very least. So I believe that it's all about manipulating people, and they're doing this for a reason. Okay, like I said, I think this has everything to do with the dome and exploration, and they're trying to get out of Earth because Earth is acting like a death trap. People get stuck in here once the firmament seals back up. And I believe that they want out. I believe that they're all doomsday preppers, basically. Look, you see right through that guy. That's incredible. He turns into the Predator. He like goes camouflage when he goes into the dark. That's insane. I've never really watched this entire thing, you know. It's kind of funny. I might point some stuff out from time to time. The flag is totally moving. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, the money thing. Yeah, they don't. The upper echelon people don't care about money. They care. You're their money. Okay, you're their currency. That's what I think. Esoterica says, I think it was fake, played out in a studio. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, to me, it's so obvious. It screams studio. This person says you can't land on something that's not solid. That's a damn good point. It's a luminary. It's a light in the sky. You can land on the dome, theoretically, because that's solid. If there is a dome, right? I think there is. So if there is a dome, which I believe is made out of ice, up there, which explains the color of the moon and all that. Look, that's incredible. Look at all the little ghost images. Then yeah, you would be able to land on that, but not on the light we see in the sky. And it's way closer. It would be way closer than 200,000 miles away. Those distances are insane. This guy made a really good point when he was debating about like, I mean, he made a lot of good points. He was talking about how there's like documentation. I mean, he's got a trail of breadcrumbs of documents, eyewitnesses, people that have talked to people on the inside, such as astronauts and rocket scientists and engineers and mechanics and stuff, who have come out and said, yeah, it was a hoax. It's not real. Right. But then he's also talked about people who have had death threats and people who seem to have been murdered and taken out for such information or whatever. And one of the really good points he made was about how much gas it would take to actually get, or fuel it would take to actually get to the moon. Jesus, man, you know how far away that is? I have to fill up my gas tank all the time just to go like, you know, within the city limits. But on top of that, they didn't even mention this. Something that I like to talk about is the speeds. If you're in a vacuum, you can't just like, first of all, I've never even seen reverse thrusters on any of these moon rockets where they like turn the rocket around and so we can fire it and go, you know, slow down or whatever. Like how they do the spritzes of air, pss, 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 right? Just like that. You can't do that in a vacuum. The vacuum will welcome anything that is squirted out into it. So you're not pushing against anything. There's no propulsion. There's no push. There's nothing to force yourself against in order to create that equal and opposite reaction. So imagine if you're going like 30,000 miles an hour, right, in a vacuum with nothing to slow you down, swing, you're gone. You're just gone. Those astronauts should have never come back. They should be on a one-way trip to the void, like not stopping, not turning, nothing, unless they happen to like go through the atmosphere of a planet or whatever in their own model. It's such fictitious nonsense to me personally. Dabbing Good says, JayDreamerZ, you know the shields of a unicorn, one on one side and the lion on the other. Yes. The unicorn is for dark ages or all is one, anarchy. The lion is for the sun. Very good. Thank you. We got Faux Ryan, who says, most people don't know what they believe for that exact reason. It's good to make them think. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that sentiment. Who else we got? What's up, Charlie? What's up? Good to see you, Charlie. Red Tape Machetes in the chat says, JayDreamerZ, it looks like they went to a Lot B building for indoors. She's saying like a B building, like she's saying it looks cheap, basically. Like, why is the dust from their feet not blowing around? I know, it's terrible. They didn't put a lot of thought into this, which is why they're not going to try to fake this again until they take, I think, there's my theory. I think they're not going to, I think they will try to fake the moon landing again. But I don't think that they will do it until they remove people like myself and other, they remove our ability to stand on our soapboxes and share our opinions, our breakdowns, our examinations, our thoughts on the matter, because they already know. They've had 55 years of people picking this apart. You know what I mean? So imagine what we could do now. Let's see. Let me jump into the chat. No spamming in the chat, please. Appreciate it. Neil deGrasse Tyson will give you all the answers on this subject. Well, he'll give me all of his responses on the subject, but he's got zero answers for people like me. That dude, man, that dude is a clown. I'm sorry, but that's how I see him. Okay, I see him the same way I see Bill Nye the Science Guy, or some of these YouTube wannabes that call themselves professors and all this type of stuff. No, they're clowns, dude. They're mascots, and they belittle people. They're intellectual bullies at best. All right, what else? See, I'm just scooching around here in the chat. KT369 says, Jay, after going down the moon rabbit hole, I believe there were possibly movie sets underground and psychedelics administered to the astronauts. Oh, that's a really good point. Okay, let me talk about that actually. So, let me get to the astronaut. Let me show you the astronaut. So, let's see. Where's the astronaut? This guy, 4,000 years old. Now, as I'm listening, and I'm going to speak from the heart, as I'm listening to this guy, it's obvious to me that he can't really recollect much. He has almost nothing to bring to the table except saying, I'm the guy. I did it. We went. There's rocks. You know what I mean? Very simple. But I don't feel like he's like lying. I'm not actually getting that impression. So when you're talking about psychedelics and stuff, this thought had occurred to me. I wonder, just like, have you ever seen that movie, Now You See Me? Right? It's a movie about magicians that rob banks and give the money back to the people and stuff. They trick people, like someone like this guy, into thinking that they're in a place that they're not really in. They had one guy in the movie think that he teleported to freaking France from the United States through a portal. And he was convinced. I mean, the magic trick was real to that person. So that's kind of what I'm getting from this guy. That's just me, okay? So some people would definitely had to have been in on it or whatever, and I think Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are probably, likely candidates. You don't need many, okay? And that's another thing. People are saying, oh, there's like 400,000 people that would have to be in on it, and nobody can keep that kind of a secret. Are you kidding me? Yes, they can. Stop saying that. That sounds so unintelligent to say, it's impossible to keep that big of a secret. It's easy. And that very mindset is why it's so easy to pull the wool over your eyes. It's easy to keep a secret. You just don't talk about it, But anyways, my point is, it's very possible, I think, that people like this guy, subsequent astronauts or whatever, could have been fooled. Maybe something happened to them. I've never heard them say like go into detail. All right, I was at home and then I told my wife goodbye and then I marched into the whatever. I've never heard that whole story of like where they went moment to moment. It's very possible that there was some trickery involved. They thought that they were in, some kind of rocket or whatever, and were actually moved without them knowing about it. And maybe they were on psychedelics. Maybe they were on some kind of drugs. Maybe they pumped in some kind of gas into their chamber or whatever and tricked them. I mean, that would be the ultimate way to trick the world, is to convince the individual that it's really happening. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm not getting a huge lying vibe from this old man. You know what I mean? I can't really say that I feel that, but I don't know. That's just the vibe I'm getting. JayDreamerZ, it's so transparent, you might call it a ghost. Yes. Oh, let me go back to that footage. All right, so we got Lyrical Reaction, who says, JayDreamerZ, I'm sure it just so happens the moon and the sun appear to be the same size. I know, right? Because they're coming from the same object, which I believe is the apex dome. And I've got video after video about the apex dome producing the stars and the sun and the moon. Excuse me. Oh, I have a whole like firmament/dome playlist. If you want to check it out, you can. There's like lots of videos where I talk about the dome and the firmament. Oh, well, there was a. Listen. If you're on the side, because I saw somebody had deleted somebody's comment in the chat. Don't delete their comments if they believe that we landed on the moon. Okay, even if they're negative during this particular episode and only this episode, because I would like to make an example out of those people, especially if they're just name calling, because that's what I found academics does. That's all the proof academics needs is you're stupid. That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson teaches his flock to do as the pastor of his pseudo-intellectual church of academia. He just teaches them to be intellectual bullies, and therefore we win, ha 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 ha, and it's like a whole Revenge of the Nerds versus the jocks type of a situation. So yeah, I'd love to point that out and put those people's remarks up here and show how intellectually superior that they are, you know, or how they think they're intellectually superior by name calling and putting people down. Let's see what else we got. We got, damn, I'm missing a lot of chat stuff. Sorry, JayDreamerZ. They harp on about the dark side of the moon. Apparently rotates around the Earth, but only one side is always facing us. Right. It's only one side facing us. There's the dark side's the other side of the firmament, I think. John says, get him, JayDreamerZ. I will. I don't like bullies. I especially don't like intellectual bullies. JayDreamerZ, that was some mighty fine sharpshooting to hit a target 238,855 miles away while standing on a spinning ball. Yeah, wow indeed. Not just a spinning ball, but a spinning, wobbling, tilting, rotating, flying through uncharted, unknown territory, pear-shaped, freaking lava-filled, fire-filled, water on the outside, fictitious freaking world. Spaceball. You know, we could go even further than that. Yeah, no stars, right? You'll notice there are no stars. Oh, you don't understand. You haven't gone to college for 12 years. You don't understand why you can't see stars when you're actually in space with no atmosphere. You just don't understand how cameras work. You don't understand how bright the moon is. I've heard it all. Like, common sense tells you should definitely see some stars. And the astronauts can't even, they go back and forth when you listen to them. Some astronauts are like, oh yeah, there's lots of stars out there. I saw all kinds. Didn't you remember the stars? Yeah, it was bright stars. You don't remember? No, I didn't see any stars. How, you saw stars? I didn't see a damn thing. It was dark. Like, they can't get their story straight. Browsy says, Jay, so the guy just walked into frame, left to right. He walked right through the leg of the lander. It looks like they're recording the men through a reflection window. That's why they're ghosts. Ooh, some Disneyland effects. Some Disney special effects. I like that. Let's see. Gravity is a misnomer. I totally agree with you. I don't really believe in gravity or anything. I believe in density and buoyancy, which I believe explain gravity. Gravity would just be like a word that people try to use, which is the opposite of what they see when they see things sink or float or whatever. They're trying to describe the sinking action as gravity, but it's not. It's just density of an object that is more dense than its surroundings, basically. Eric Ibu Elliott, hey, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. 6 people gave you a thumbs up. A couple people chatted to respond and say thank you as well on my behalf. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that you guys enjoy my presentations. Red Tape Machete, what's up? Says JayDreamerZ. I think that's how Mars, etc. works. It's there, but it's inside, not on a ball. Yeah, my opinion on Mars is it's the same as the moon. It's just a projection. It's a projection of something on the firmament itself. And we see that. You can't land on Mars. They don't have equipment on Mars. And Jesus, if you compare this footage, alleged footage, to like what we have today from Mars, it's mind-blowing. Okay, they have like 4K video, they have remote control helicopter drones, they have a little, short circuit Johnny 5 looking robot rover thing that it blows my mind. It blows my mind that they can't have anything on something that is like right there. Right? Nothing. No people, no nothing. No landing base. It's been 55 years. You already know. I know you know. okay? And if you don't know, then you're one of them. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I know you know that they're given 55 years of advancements in technology, right? And the hype that was pushing this whole going to the moon thing. Yeah, definitely should have something there. Should have a base, a Starbucks, a sidewalk, a freaking, a biodome, something, anything. But they have nothing. They have nobody. They're not going back. Right? They pulled the wool over your eyes because they were going to be doing some experiments of some type, and they wanted to have a story about it. And probably, I mean, there's all kinds of other reasons, right? They want to see if they could trick people. Yes, I believe there is actually a good reason for all of this, but not the one that they tell us. What is going on? Why is it all blinking? Why is the picture blinking and blacking out and stuff? You know what I mean? I don't know. Highly suspicious. Let's see. Let me jump back in the chat. Oh, I have received some money from someone. Thank you. That's a good gift. I could use that. Rare to me. This is from Mystic Mons, who says, it's rare for me to be here watching a live stream. Welcome. Good to have you. Happy holidays, Jay. I've been following for years and I love your work. You're very inspiring and enjoyable to listen to. Keep shining your light. Thank you very much. That was very kind of you. All right, let me jump back into the chat. What do you guys think? What are your reasons? Type in my name. I see a lot of chat, but I don't see anyone getting my attention because I want to know why you think that they went to the moon and they landed. And don't block those people, okay? I'm willing to have a conversation. What is going on back there? Oh, it's a ghost astronaut. What is happening? It's like half his body. What is that? What is going on over there? Look at that. Doesn't that look weird? Hold on, I gotta watch this. What's going on with this dude over here? What is he doing? I feel like they have strings, you know what I mean? Like there's a crane or something. Like why is he leaning forward to try to force himself to walk? It should be super easy. You should be able to just skip. You know what I mean? But they look like they're tugging on something, and probably something that's like a rope or, a cable or something that's attached to them. And so actually, while it's lifting them up and making them appear to be lightweight, when they're trying to walk, it doesn't give them the slack that they need. So it seems like they have to lean and pull this string or something that they have. Titus, what's up, Titus? Good to see you. Yeah, are there any school teachers in the chat? Because, I'd like to hear your thoughts. They always show up after I'm done live streaming. They'll jump in the comments. They're scared. Hey, 342 people watching. That's cool. Welcome to my channel, everybody. All right, here we go. I got a question in the chat. It's from Kasun Lee, who says, Jay, do you think there are artificial structures on the moon or Mars? I don't believe that there's anything on the projections that we call the planets and the moon. I believe those are lights. I don't believe that they're physical objects at all. I do believe that the projection comes from the dome itself. Now, can people land on the dome? Can they build bases or set things up on the dome? That's a possibility. I'm open to that. I'm open to discussing that possibility. But the light we see in the sky, the projection that appears to be moving around in a circle every day, no, I don't think so. Woundsocket just gave out 5 JayDreamerZ channel memberships. Now you guys can check out my on location videos and my specials. Those are for members only, and they're pretty cool. Thank you so much, Woundsocket. Appreciate you. Let's see. Let's share this live stream to your friend. Let us hear their thoughts too, says Curry Croissant. They're all scared, homie. Who is that? Eunies. Almost like Goonies. That's almost Goonies. I wouldn't say globetard. Let's not use that kind of language, if you don't mind. Okay, I'm respectfully asking. We don't call people globetards here on my channel. All right? That is the same intellectual bullying. That's the same name calling that I was just talking about that they use against us. And here on my channel, at the very least, I have different rules in my house. Okay? I'm not trying to do that. And I don't want you guys to do it either. So please don't. Lucky Lucky says it's flat. Boom. Flat Earth up in the house. Now, I personally don't actually hold to the flat Earth view. I believe water finds its level, and the water level is flat for the most part. But I have an alternative cosmology. It's similar to flat Earth, that we live in a type of snow globe type world, but what is under it, I don't believe it's just flat, like a pancake or a disc or anything. And I also think it's connected underneath to other places beyond. Right? But anyways, you guys are fine to share your thoughts and stuff, but I recommend saying I think it's flat instead of it's flat empirically. That's just like somebody that comes in here and they think it's a globe and they're like, it's a globe. Then we're not getting anywhere. You know what I mean? All right, so let's see. Jonathan Rodriguez says, Jay, have you seen a moon wave? I have seen the lunar wave. I have seen that. And I think that's very interesting. And that helps, to me, that helps to prove that the moon is a projection of light and that it is not a physical rock in the sky looming over us, could crash into us at any moment. KT369 says, JayDreamerZ, I believe it was a race between the nations and Kennedy won. Okay, I think that I've heard that theory too, that it was the moon race, right? And they were all trying to get there first or whatever. And so the story goes that some people believe that we landed on the moon, or that humans landed on the moon. What is that shadow creature? Look at that crap. That is so crazy. I've never really noticed that. Dude's invisible. He's like the Predator. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but anyways, that's insane. So the story goes that like the United States, oh, well, they did fake it. Not that the moon is fake, but they faked getting there first because they wanted to be the first ones or whatever, right? To claim it. Like, who cares? That's what I'm coming back with. Who cares? What does it matter? Why would you spend that much money to claim the title or whatever? The title does nothing. It does nothing. It doesn't give anybody any kind of power. It doesn't give anybody an advantage or a one-up that I can see personally. So I don't know about the whole, like, you know, they claimed it or whatever. Unis, you're super welcome, and I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. All right, we got the Sute, who says, well said. Thank you. Titus says, yes, I was getting ready to even say the same thing, Jay. Why call people names? I totally agree, right? Tiernan says, JayDreamerZ, given the Bible quote, waters above, it is interesting that the astronauts practice underwater. Yeah, totally, right? Because they have to, if they are going to the dome, they'll have to get through the waters above. And I think that these suits that they wear, because I think that they do try to go land on the dome. I just have a hunch that they're trying to land on the dome, that they're even trying to blow up the dome to depressurize the world, to kick off the apocalypse so that they can escape and leave. And then go infect other worlds like a virus. But anyway, man, that video trips me out. What was I saying? Oh, the waters above. Right, yeah. Oh, so I think that they wear those suits when they, I think that they do need those suits if they go up high into the sky. I also believe that people can float in the space that exists between the Earth and the dome because there's so much pressure. All the gases, all the lightweight gases meet there, and then it gets really pressurized, and that creates, increases buoyancy. So I do believe that it's possible for rocks and people and objects to float around in the sky above us while still being under the dome. I do believe that so far. But if they are up there, it's freezing cold, you know, especially if you're going beyond that space where everything's buoyant and there's a lot of pressure, because usually pressure indicates high heat. If you go past that, past the middle point, and you're going on your way to the dome, which is freezing cold, then I think that those suits are also designed to keep them warm as well. Probably serving, you know, multiple functions. All right, question. Remember to type in at JayDreamerZ or at Jay to get my attention. Question, is the moon a physical object? If you're asking me, I say no. The moon that we see in the sky is a projection. It is a light. And I've seen it, and I can verify it personally because I saw a star through the dark side of the moon. Like 6 months ago, I think. I told you guys about it, but I witnessed that. I've heard about it, and I always look for that. I can't wait. And then I hit the jackpot one night. I saw a star through the dark side of the moon. It was amazing. But yeah, somewhere you can go in general. No, I don't think so. I think the moon is a light. Let's see. Scoop dooby doo. Super unknown. Oh, the chat skipped on me. Never mind. Can't read it. Radiation belt. Yes, so there are radiation belts allegedly around the world. I mean, forget the radiation belt. There's a dome. Like, trust me, you can't get into quote unquote outer space, right? The space outside of the dome, because you'll crash into the dome. You'll die. You'll crash right into that bad boy. Just like in the new Stranger Things, they kind of show you that in the Upside Down. I don't know if you guys watch that, but yeah, I mean, the radiation belts or whatever, those are second on a list of worries, okay? First is the dome. There's a wall, I think. I'm going to speak from my perspective, okay? Personally, there's no possibility to get out of a closed system because it's physically closed. It is enclosed by a physical object, which I believe to be ice, which is the ice dome above us. So forget the Van Allen belts, which is basically plasma on the other side of the dome. It's actually two areas of plasma and radiation. One on this side of the dome, and the other on the other side. The other side of the dome's far worse. Hot, destructive, radioactive, etc. But to me, those are what the Van Allen belts actually are. All right, it's cool. Let's see. We're off to the moon. Who said that? We're off to the moon. Let's go. We landed on the moon. That's the funniest thing. If you guys have seen Dumb and Dumber, when Jim Carrey's character is leaving this restaurant, and there's this old newspaper article that says astronauts land on the moon, and it's like bragging, right? And he's an idiot. And they're making fun of all the people that actually believe that we landed on the moon. Now, in the movie, it's portrayed as he thinks that just happened recently. Ha 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 ha, he's stupid. No. That's not what the movie's showing you. The movie's showing you Jim Carrey and Hollywood is saying, you're all dumb if you think we landed on the moon. That's why they included that scene in the movie. All right, let's see. I'm trying to catch up. And remember, if you want me to read your comments or you want to get my attention, just type in @JayDreamerZ, and it will highlight on my side. If you don't type in for example, John here typed in JayDreamerZ. Thankfully, I noticed it. If you type in it will actually highlight on my side, okay? If you don't, then I'm just going to look for it. I'm going to try to sift through everything. And it gets harder and harder the more people there are, and there's a lot of people in the chat right now. All right, so let me jump in here and see which ones are highlighted. I got Curry Croissant, who types in, did anyone really walk on the moon? Yeah, so that's the question. Why do you say no? If you do say no, I mean, are you just saying no because, you know, it's popular and it's fun to be on the conspiracy side of things, or do you have reasoning? You know what I mean? And if you do, what is your reasoning? I'm curious to hear what other people's reasoning is. I know mine. I've got my reasoning. The cow jumped over the moon. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to point out. There's a lot of references to people not flying to the moon, but walking to the moon or climbing to the moon or driving to the moon. And sometimes it's in pop culture. So a lot of times it's in the movies. I'll give you a prime example. Right? And people can dismiss it. They can be dismissive if they want to and say, oh, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a song. It's just a stupid movie or whatever. I disagree. But in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or whatever that movie was called, the original one, right? Willy Wonka. There's a song, I've got a golden ticket, right? The grandpa is singing with Charlie. And he says, damn, what are the lyrics to that song? He says, I never thought that I could... How does he say? I never thought that I could climb. Oh, he says climb. I never thought that I could climb over the moon in ecstasy. Nevertheless, I find that that's exactly where I'm meant to be, or whatever, however it goes, right? But climbing over the moon is how he says that. Instead of flying over the moon or jumping over the moon or whatever. No, he's climbing over the moon. What does that mean? That's because if the moon is a part of the dome, then theoretically, you could go out to Antarctica, you could walk all the way around, okay? Remember, we're talking about density and buoyancy, not gravity. So there is no, you're going to fall down off of the dome. Density and buoyancy apply on the sides, right? Which is the surface as well. If the surface extends outward, then it applies all the way around. So anyways, that's how people could walk to the moon. Look at these ghost vision deal. Look at you see right through that guy. Let's see what else we got. Mark's in the chat and says, Jay, I love everything you've said. I used the moon landing as a litmus test to see if somebody strongly believes that we went, I know, to avoid any controversial subjects, as it would be a waste of time. That's wise. I think that's wise of you, Mark, to just test people out, see where they are, see if they're hungry. You know what I mean? It's like fishing. You know, you got some bait, you throw it out there. If they bite, cool, let's talk about it. Right? And then you don't want to fill them up too much. Okay? Having an intellectual conversation, especially venturing into unknown territory and trying to build a bridge from somebody that's, you know, open-minded or seems to be, to where you are, requires feeding them. Sometimes they can only chew on so much food. Sometimes they need time to digest everything you just gave to them. And if you give them too much, they're going to be stuffed, and they're not going to want anymore, because they know you're going to feed them too much again next time. You know, be a good steward of people who come to sit at your table. Put yourself in their shoes, you know. Let's see. Miami MST3K says, how can gravity keep all the oceans of the world from flying up, but when I let go of a helium balloon, gravity disappears? Obviously, right? I mean, that's good point. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you're asking questions like that, because it's obvious. Titus says, Eric Dubay, Flat Earth Dave, Flat Water, Flat Earth, Flat Hour Resurrection, Wits It Gets It, Flat Earth Brothers are all great channels to learn the truth about this realm. Well, okay, yes. I hear what you're saying, right? I'm also a decent channel, okay? But just because they're flat earthers that's not what I'm talking about. You're free to talk about it. But listen, be careful that if you're in the chat, and it could be my chat or anybody else's, okay? Just as I wouldn't want a Christian, because this is often Christians that do it, not a lot of Buddhists or Muslims or Taoists or whatever come into my chat insisting that I believe in their beliefs, okay? But Christians, Protestants mainly do, all right? Just as it's what they think is a blessing, I'm counting it as a curse. When they come into my chat and they change the subject and they insist that their views are the right views and the only views, and they're just telling people to be converted, that's a religion. So be careful that you don't make flat earth your religion. I'm just cautioning you, okay? Think about how these things are coming out. I know, like, you know, these are all great channels to get a piece of the puzzle. That's how I'm going to say it, okay? Because I myself I've seen probably all of those channels, and I've got pieces of the puzzle from all of them. But do any of them, including myself, have the entire picture, all of the pieces? Fuck no. Excuse my language. But that just irritates the crap out of me, that anybody could go to anyone's channel, including my own, and think that I am their new guru, or that I have all of the answers, or that Eric Dubay has all of the answers, or anything like that. You know what I mean? And that's not directed at Titus. That's not directed at anybody in the chat. I'm trying to help you guys out so you don't make the mistake of digging yourself out of one hole just to fall into another, or picking up your flag and declaring freedom just to go plant your flag somewhere else and being stuck there. You know what I mean? Who waited for the astronauts on the moon and filmed them during landing and takeoff? I think the landing was supposed to have been filmed from inside of the lander or whatever. I don't think there was anyone on the moon filming them landing or anything. But the takeoff portion, yeah, that's a good question. Allegedly, it was remote controlled by a robot. Let's see. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out of the dome until it opens. Then things can come in and go out. The Sute says, I believe there's a dark side and a light side to the moon because of plasma, JayDreamerZ. Big up, sir. I love your work. Thank you. Who else we got in the chat? It skips on me sometimes. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, damn, I'm skipping a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm way back. Oh my God, I'm so far back. All right, I'm going to do rapid fire. Here we go. JayDreamerZ, question. Where do shadows on the moon come from? That's one thing I can't figure out. So the shadows on this moon come from lights in a studio. Okay. I don't know if there are shadows on the projection up there. I know there's light and dark spaces, but it is the apex dome. The dome, if it's made out of ice, is reflective, and it is reflecting the earth back to us. So it's the light and the dark are actually inverted because of the type of lens that it's acting as. And that's where I believe the light and the dark, parts come from. There's also lights on the moon, which people never talk about. There's literal lights, actual physical lights, little dots of bright, bright lights that are on the moon. You can see them any time of day. They're always there. And they move sometimes from place to place, but Jesus, you know what I mean? That's no moon, it's a space station, says Whammo. Hero Sounds, or Cairo, said JayDreamerZ. They want us to believe that the president called the astronauts on a phone with a clear connection in the 1960s. We can't get a good connection these days, right? Breedog says, Jay, I have one that's maybe a bit out there. What's your thoughts on the sun being the totality of our collective consciousness? I'm going to skip that one because I want to focus on the moon right now. Miami MST3K says, there are so many clues Stanley Kubrick left in his movies about the truth of the moon landing. Yep, I agree. Making America Guitar Again says, the Police Walking on the Moon, right? The band, the Police Walking on the Moon. Yeah, that one. And you know what another good song is the Andy Kaufman song. What was that one called? Man on the Moon. If you believe they put a man on the moon, a man on the moon. What's the lyrics to that? Hold on. Man on the Moon lyrics. They're basically saying, if you believe that, then, that's not good. All right. I don't want this. What is this AI garbage? Stop popping up. REM. All right. Hold up. So here's the chorus. If you believe. Now you gotta. I'm gonna do truth in music episodes every week starting this new year. So I'm probably gonna bust out this song eventually. If you believe, like you gotta not sing these songs. You have to read it like it's a newspaper. If you believe they put a man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, meaning the man, then nothing's cool. Like nothing's cool. Like he's basically saying, if you believe that crap, you're not cool. That sucks. Okay. If you fell for that. All right. Let's see. Let me jump back into the chat here. How do aliens get through the dome? They don't. They can't. Nothing can get through the dome. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, but I don't believe that humans or animals or insects or anything like that can get through the dome. When it opens, when the sky bursts open and the atmosphere depressurizes, as I talk about in my books, then yeah, you can get past the dome. You can get through the dome because there will be a hole in the sky. Joshua Dumas says, JayDreamerZ, I think the sun and the moon are physical, but are close by and can be landed on within the firmament. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I wonder more about that actually, because I think that the sun is just a point of focus. It's just light. And I think the moon is a projection and it's also just light. So if they're in the dome, I'm wondering how you think that if they're physical objects, like what are they made out of and how are they created? And I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying, let's work on that. You know what I mean? Let's feed off of that. Candy Jones, what's up? Scientists from 3 to 50 years ago said that the moon is made out of cosmic plasma, which can't be stepped on. Right. Daily Dose of Twitch Clips YouTube says, JayDreamerZ, what do you think people that worked on the lunar lander were actually working on? Were they working on props for a set? My grandpa worked on the lunar lander and never talks about it. He's ashamed. Personally, like I said, I believe, I'm inclined to think that this is for a reason, that there's substance to the moon landings. I don't believe that they're landing on the light in the sky that people call the moon. I think that they try to get to the firmament. I think that they're trying to go to the apex dome, which is the bowl shape that hangs down from the firmament above the North Pole, the geographic North Pole, right? I also think that's why they make these trips to Antarctica. It's just that going all the way out. Okay, listen, if there's a dome over the Earth, right? If there's a dome over the Earth, where it touches is going to be where the crater that we live in, right? I think it's more crater shaped than like flat, but the water level would be flat. But anyways, that's where the crater shape would have its lip. The bowl would rise up and meet the firmament. Okay, so technically the elevation should be way up higher in Antarctica than way down here anywhere else. But I'm just kind of sharing my personal cosmology with you guys. What was I talking about? Hold on. What do you think people worked on? Oh, so anyways, my point is that's why I think they go out to Antarctica, and they don't want to keep going and keep going and keep going. That's a lot. It gets colder and colder and colder as you leave the physical land of the rim of the Earth or the rim of the world, and you go on to the actual dome, which is freezing cold, and probably other things are happening there as well. Probably electrical fields and stuff. I'm guessing people have actually seen ghosts and stuff in Antarctica, and I think that's what that is. Where's the astronauts? What are they doing? They're just out of view. They took a coffee break. They're having donuts off stage. All right, let me jump back in the chat. Sorry if I skipped you guys. Carmen Smith Studer, what's up? Thanks for having me on your channel as a guest. I appreciate you, and I'm honored. Chosen One gave me a super chat, £2, and says, much love to everyone, no matter where you're from. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm just going to kind of skip forward a little bit here. Yeah, you can see right through those astronauts, right, when they're walking behind me. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just going through the chat. Hey, don't call Flat Earth Dave any names. That's not fun. I break Babylon. Oh, you need to get blocked. You need to be blocked. Not because of that. I mean, in addition, yes, it's messed up for you to call people names, especially, you didn't even know that he's my buddy. Like, I met Flat Earth Dave. I think he's a cool dude. So it says, say he's derp or retarded or stupid. Says more about you than it does about him. So, but the reason I want to boot you is because you should have been booted on my last live stream when you were hogging the chat, trying to like insist that people are going to hell and evangelizing people and stuff like that in my chat. That's not what this is for. I think your mission is screwed up and wrong, and you have the wrong idea, and you're not representing Jesus or Christ or the Bible or Christianity at all, although you think you are. So good luck with that. But we're polar opposites, buddy. And I need to stop what I'm doing and block you immediately. Hold on. If I could find you. There you are. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. You're talking about Pornhub and stuff in the chat. You're base, man. You're one of those base people. Let's see. Hide user on this channel. Mods, please help me out. Come on, man. You see people talking like that, you gotta block them. You gotta ban them, block them, time them out. I don't care. But I give you guys wrenches so that you can do that, so that you can help me out. You don't have to, but I sure would appreciate it. And so would other people, so we can keep our house clean. Okay? You see people talking base, making sexual, nasty jokes all the time. They can't stop it. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with those people. When they're in the chat, I don't mind if people share their religious views, if they share flat earth views or anything like that, but it's all in how you do it. If they're not tactful and they're going around bullying other people, ban them. Get them the hell off my channel. Okay? You're saving me a lot of work and a lot of emotions when I go back and I read that stuff later on. I'd rather not see it. And I don't want other people to see that crap either. Okay? Let's jump on the same page. Tiffany Marie, good to see you. Good to have you in the chat. Insane Earbee says, JayDreamerZ, another question. When we send amateur balloons up into the sky after a certain height, the stars can't be seen. No more lights in the sky, and I wonder why. That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure, but I would guess it has something to do with optics. So I'm guessing that some kind of optical effect could help to explain that. I don't know why, but like total internal reflection just popped up in my head. I'm not saying that's the reason for it or anything, but where there's a will, there's a way, right? Carmen Smith Studer is in the chat. She's got a cool channel. You should check her out. She's got a lot of guests. She interviews people and stuff, which I'm also going to be starting to do this coming year. So I do have a lot of guests on my channel throughout the year. Occasionally. Next year, I'm having a lot of guests because I'm really going to push my cryptic collab segment where I have other people on, and I just want to know, I want to hear more about their areas of expertise and their pieces of the puzzle. You know what I mean? KT369 says she'll mod. All right. Actually, I will add you as a mod. Hold up. Let me jump in here. Where are you? I gotta find you in the regular chat here. Say something in the chat so I can add you as a mod. And I'm not just adding because she asked. She's already proven herself and been around for quite some time. Use it wisely, though. I have banned some mods in the past. People that I thought were cool, and then I see them talking that same kind of way or whatever. I'm not giving people, you know, like chances or whatever. If I made a mistake, I made them a mod, and I see their true colors later on, I'm not going to remove the wrench. They're probably just going to get banned. KT, I'm looking for you in the chat. Hold up. There you are. She said something. All right, boom. There you go. Standard moderator. Boom. There you go. All right, cool. Let's jump back into the conversation of the moon landing. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. JJ Labajo says, JayDreamerZ, hello, Jay. What do you think of Vibes of Cosmos theory that the moon is a reflection of the Earth? I agree with the Vibes of Cosmos theory, actually. I would love to have that dude on my channel as a guest, actually. If you guys know a way to reach that dude, let me know, because I would like to invite him to be a guest on my channel. I would love that. Actually, I would love for him to have a whole presentation right here on my channel so he can show people all of his like most compelling evidence. I would love that. But I don't believe that the actual the hologram up there, the plasma, the light in the sky, the luminary, I don't think that that is a reflection. I think that is a projection. But its substance, which is the firmament above us, is made of reflective substance. Does that make sense? So I think that the firmament is reflecting the Earth in whole or in part, I don't know. And it projects light into the sky, which carries that reflection, which is what we call the moon. Let's see. Jason Banks is in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, I appreciate these live streams. Great info. Thank you. Appreciate you too. Let's see. Simi thinks it's 73 miles to the firmament. I'm not a big math person, so I haven't dedicated any time to trying to figure out how far away the dome is or whatever. I think it's closer than 200,000 miles away, like the moon, but I don't know. So I'm open to, you know, I'm open to hearing what you guys' ideas are. All right, let's see. I'm just going through the chat here. Brian's in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, the firmament would have to be rolled back to go through it. Yeah, it would have to open in order for us to go past the firmament. And I believe one day it will. I believe that there will be an atmospheric depressurization. Miami says, JayDreamerZ, I am in the mountains right now, and I could have sworn the luminaries felt a lot closer. Let's see. Are they closer or are they just brighter? Let's see. If it goes like that, but if it goes like that, I don't know. I personally kind of have a suspicion that they're further away, like higher up in the sky, but they're just brighter. So they feel closer. I don't know. But I hear you. It all depends on atmospheric conditions as well. Unis says, Jay, Donnie Jones has a lot of interesting stuff on his channel too. I just happened to catch it. What is this? Wait, what did that say? Oh, go back. What did that say? I want to see what that was about. After astronauts Aldrin and Armstrong completed the EVA and removed their PLSS backpacks, please, their please backpacks, they depressurized the lunar module and opened the hatch to discard everything not needed for the return to lunar orbit. The only known video recording of this was captured by Ed von Renard, the Honeysuckle Creek television technician, on his personal Super 8mm camera. The only known video. So they're just throwing trash out of the lunar module? Is that what that means? That is what that means. They discarded everything not needed for the return to lunar orbit. Like what? Like what trash did they just throw out of the lunar module? Allegedly. I mean, I don't believe in any of this story, but allegedly, the only known video recording of this was captured by Ed von Renard, the Honeysuckle Creek television technician, on his personal super 8mm camera. What? I've never even heard of this. Who is this? Who is this dude who captured this on his personal 8mm camera? I mean, come on, like, was he on the moon? Like, who is this dude? What is this about? Does anyone have any information on this? I'm gonna let it play, but if you know what that's about, please teach me. All right. I think I read that one. Sickle Joel says question. Thank you so much. Says question. VOC is more the lands beyond the ice wall. Unfortunately, I don't know what your acronym means. I don't know what VOC is. Voice of control? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Is more the lands of... Oh, Vibes of Cosmos. I got you. Oh, you're lucky I figured it out just in the nick of time. Is more lands beyond the ice wall. Yeah, I don't know what his whole theory is. Look at that. They got credits. Here's the credits for the moon. The moon presentation or whatever. All right, what else we got? Daily Dose says good catch. Thank you, Joel, for your support, says Tammy. Forward Ryan says, this might help. It makes sense. TV broadcasts were not necessarily recorded in those days, so someone took it on themselves to film their TV. Oh, okay. So somebody like filmed him throwing all the trash out of the Moonlander. He had his own 8mm camera, and he's filming the TV. That's possible. I could see that. But why is he the only one that would have that? Why is it that we have this video? And where is this picture? Is this an actual real picture from the time? You know what I mean? Is that what this is supposed to be? On these credits? Hold on, I gotta make fun of this. Is this serious? Did the astronauts know that they needed a credit scene? And so they're like, show the Earth. Which, like, where the frick was the Earth, by the way? Why is it in the credits? Shouldn't they have the Earth somewhere? I mean, forget the stars. Hold on. Nah, man, come on. Like, they were up there for 3 days, right? Something like that. Where the hell is the Earth footage of the Earth? Forget the stars. Where's the Earth? That's crazy. I'm going to share some other stuff with you guys, too. Not even done yet. Titus, you're super welcome. Good to have you here. Yeah, what is this? A honeysuckle. I don't know. Let's see. Milo's in the chat and says, so Mount Meru is the spot that projects the moon up onto the firmament, ? I don't personally believe that, but I have heard the theory. I have heard the theory that people think that that light from inside the Earth goes out of Mount Meru and hits the dome, and then it projects out. I'm not saying that's impossible. Actually, I'm more likely to believe that than I am this official Hollywood basement story. But I don't personally, I'm not convinced by that theory yet. What else we got? I want bloopers. This whole thing is a blooper. What are you talking about? Why does no one else have this video? I know, right? Let's see. There's so much stuff that doesn't make sense. Well, let's ask ChatGPT. Let me get my special guest up here. ChatGPT. Where's the flag? Where's that scene with the flag? There it is. The good old flag. There it is. They stuck that flag right on that moon. Right? Even though it's just dust, allegedly. It's like a foot of dust. Right? How did they even get the flag in there? You know what I mean? Does it have a special drill on the bottom? Or whatever, right? That's like dust. Isn't that supposed to be dust? And like other people in the chat mentioned, there's no moon dust being kicked up, right? That's because you would expect the dust to float around in all of that like lessened gravitational field, but it doesn't because they're not in a lessened gravitational field. They have just slowed it down and they're on wires and stuff. Let's ask ChatGPT. Where is ChatGPT? Do I have a ChatGPT? I do somewhere. Oh, I asked it earlier. Are the moon landings faked? And it has this to say.
No, the moon landings were real. Independent confirmation includes Retroreflectors left on the moon still used for laser ranging. Moon rocks with isotopic and vacuum weathering signatures not found on Earth. Tracking by multiple countries, including the USSR, during the missions.
Oh, wow.
Photographic, telemetry, and radio data consistent with lunar operations.
Telemetry, huh?
Modern lunar orbiters imaging Apollo landing sites and equipment.
Okay, well, let's talk about that, ChatGPT. Retroreflectors left on the moon still used for laser ranging. Now, let me explain what that means in English, okay? They have a mirror like that big. Okay, it doesn't really matter how big it is because it's not big enough. But they have a mirror about this big that they like set up perfectly, which, did you see that in any of the video? No, there's probably other videos I know, okay? But I've never seen a video of them like taking the mirror out. Protect the mirror, guys. You know, taking it out of the packaging and like making sure that the mirror, like, it doesn't break, obviously. And like, I wouldn't trust these goofballs with a mirror anyway. Have you seen them falling down all the time up on the moon? You know what I mean? Like, they're not holding a mirror. That's like giving it to Chunk from the Goonies. Chunk, hold this. What? Why do you guys want me to hold it? I don't understand. Ah, boom, and it's done. So they're saying they left a mirror about this big, 200,000, 300,000, 5 million, however many, you know, made up miles away it is. And they're going to project little lasers from Earth that can travel 200,000 miles. And they're going to hit that little tiny mirror that's this big on an object that's moving and moving around as we're moving and spinning and wobbling and all this stuff around. And the further away you get, I know this from being in the Marine Corps, just from shooting my rifle, just learning how to shoot with the M16, right? Something's close, yeah, it's easy to hit that target. The further away that target gets, the more steady you have to be, the more precise you have to be. And at 200,000 miles away, you have to be damn near perfect, okay? And I know people are going to say, well, they are perfect. They can perfectly. No, they can't. Sorry, I don't believe in all that. Let's see. Oh, all right, let me jump back in the chat here. Oh, Sickle Jones gave me a donation. Have you heard the theory of Trax firmament? Thank you for the donation. And no, I have not heard of the theory of Trax firmament. I don't know what that is. Let's ask ChatGPT. What is the theory of Trax firmament? Let's see if it knows what you're talking about. The Trax/firmament theory claims that the sky is a physical dome or a solid boundary over the Earth, and that some visible linear features in the sky, often called tracks, are physical marks, scars, or paths on or within the structure rather than contrails, satellites, or optical effects. The core claims Earth is enclosed by... Okay, what is... Hold on. Give me the short version about the tracks. I just want to see what it says. Tracks are said to be fixed lines or grooves in a physical firmament, interpreted as paths or marks from repeated celestial motion. Oh, okay, I see. Or plasma flow, rather than aircraft contrails. Well, I mean, personally, I don't know about the contrail thing. Or I know the difference between contrails that are coming out of airplanes and stuff and scratches in the firmament. At least I think I do. But I like that. I like that theory. I like that people are thinking outside of the box. All right. I think I just got another donation. So we've got 13 Captain Rick, who says, Happy Gregorian New Year. Well, Happy Gregorian New Year to you too. And high five, Captain Rick. Reminds me of that movie Captain Ron with Kurt Russell. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much, Captain Rick. I appreciate your support. All right, what were we going to talk about? Let's check out some of this stuff from Cebrel.com, right? So that dude Bart Cebrel, he's got a sweet collection on his website of these videos. So let's check out this one first. I've shown this one myself many times on my channel, and I'm going to show you again. Actually, I brought this up when I was decoding the movie They Live, okay? Because about how they put subliminal messages they put it in the national anthem. I used to watch this as a child. This is exactly how it looked. They say, "Oh, say, can you see?" Right? But whenever they remove the words, for a split second, there are other words that literally say obey, trust the government, and shit. I'm sorry, but fuck that. Shit like that. Look at this. Watch. See how fast it went? That was normal speed. I'm going to slow it down. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay, it's just about to start, so I'm going to slow it down to as slow as I possibly can. Watch this. This guy has good stuff on his website. I like it. All right, now watch. It's really slow. Let me turn off the volume. Look at that. Look at that. Did you see that? There's a word right here. There's not supposed to be anything. This word is about to disappear. I can't remember what this one says. But they only flash it. Let me get out of the way. What does that say right there? It doesn't say Earth. Or early or whatever that is. Damn it. I got to catch another one. Hold on. Let's see if we can catch one. Oh, now he's slowing it down. Oh, cool. So we can get it extra slow. So watch this. What so proudly we hail. When the words disappear. Oh, man, that went by fast too. Oh, believe. See how it says believe? He's got the real words right here. Believe in government. It's about to say government. Instead of at the twilight's last gleaming. It says government right there. This is not photoshopped. This is not AI. This is none of that. Okay. I know because I was into this way before AI was released, you know, to the public the way it is today. Man, that's a good one though. Let me jump back in the chat. We got Nancy Ross in the chat who says, JayDreamerZ, nobody ever discusses the Van Allen radiation belt and how we got through that. That's a good point. Nancy, thank you. Right? All this, dude, this guy, when he was being interviewed and there was this debate, this astronaut, they told him, are you aware you were being exposed to X-rays for like an hour? He's like, what is the point of this conversation? What about the moon rocks? What about the moon rocks? Right? He had nothing to say. Like if you're just constantly exposed to X-rays for an hour, you're dead. That's it. You're dead. You're done. Get like under normal conditions, okay? Under regular conditions today, you would be done. He's like, I don't know, didn't affect me. That's amazing. Anyways, let me get back to this videos here. All right. If you want to get my attention in the chat, just type in @JayDreamerZ. Pakistan Zinda Good says JayDreamerZ. Why was Miami MST3K banned? What? She's not banned. All her messages disappeared. I was quite enjoying her chat. What? Who the hell banned her? Nobody banned her. Are you serious? Somebody let me know right now. One of my mods, please. Let me know if that chick was banned. This chick right here. And Miami MST3K. I don't think anybody banned her. I think somebody deleted her LOL comment. I don't know why. Some people do that on accident sometimes. Oh wait. Message was deleted by Candy Jones. If I had to use this video to prove I didn't murder someone, I would be in jail. Well, unless if the NPCs were the judge and the jury. Oh, I think it's maybe that comment was because she said murder and people are just trying to look out for me because they're some people are afraid of the word murder. I hate that word because it's hard to pronounce. I don't care. You can say murder if you want. Just don't say that you're going to do that to somebody. You know what I mean? Just so you know. But let's see. I don't know. Oh, I do see another one that was deleted. This is so funny. It's like a baby lying to you that they didn't take cookies from the cookie jar. So I think you're misunderstanding what she was saying. She's saying the video, the moon landing video was funny because the moon landing people were lying. See, this is why you got to be, listen, I have my moderators back too. Okay. I see what the girl was trying to say, but she didn't clarify. This is why precision of language is important, or can be important. If there's no context and you're in the chat, moderators and myself can take whatever you say out of context and think that you're saying something bad when you're really saying something good. So it's best to clarify. It's best to say, instead of saying, this is so dumb, say what you believe to be so dumb. You know what I mean? I know there's only a certain number of characters you can type, but, you know, be careful with your words. Is she banned though? Oh, she might be. PLS dump. Yeah, I think she might have been blocked for some reason. But I don't think she should be. I think that was a mistake. Candy Jones, she was just real quick to try to protect me. I think that's what was happening there. Right? Candy says, that was me. It's model. I don't know what that means. Can you tell me what you mean by that? Let's hurry up through this because I want to get back to the presentation, okay? Guys? Because I was having a good time. One of those model accounts. What does that mean? It's a model account. Please tell me and explain to me how you know it's a model account. I'm assuming you mean like a bot. Oh, okay, so she's unhidden. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, you can't guess, okay? You can't just guess and think, oh, I think that's a bot, so I'm going to block that person. Don't do that, okay? Thank you, Daily Dose. I appreciate you guys. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Yes, exactly. So take a lesson from Miami. Be careful about how you're saying things. You know what I mean? Type in the @ symbol to use and get people's attentions when you're talking to people. Let people know. Give them all of the information. Otherwise, mods will interpret what you say however they want. And so will I. All right. I'm going to guess we're good then. Somebody's talking about the saying grape or whatever. Why? There's no need to even talk about it. What is that about? God, I hate it when I jump back in the chat and I'm lost because we're having issues now. Don't say grape. Don't. What are you guys talking about? What is this about? What's going on here? Oh, she said she was a fake account. So what? Lots of people have fake accounts. I have a fake account. I have another account that I use to, like, you know, because I want to be incognito. I don't want to be myself. There's nothing wrong with that. So what the heck? Why are you guys being dramatic in the chat? What's the problem? I know, listen, earlier there was a clear troll in the chat where somebody was calling names and being rude and stuff. You know what I mean? There's a difference between that and a witch hunt. Let's not do that. Oh, you vote for me to be on the next moon mission? Nah. I don't really want to go on any moon missions. I'm honored, thank you. I'm a land lover. I'm cool being on the ground. I plan to go to Hyperborea one of these days and be in terrestrial paradise. That's my wish. What else? Roddy Piper. Hold on, I'm trying to figure the chat out real quick. Let's see. Oh, can you unblock her? I don't know. I didn't even know mods could block people. So I mean, like, that's a recent revelation to me. We need to talk about the Black Sun. What would you like to talk about? Go for it. Do it. Talk about it. Let's see. Keep going. Thank you. Much love. Thank you. Tammy George busting up. Jay to the moon. Okay, let's see. What's up with this Black Sun, bro? I've been seeing some interesting content. I'll see you there. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. What is up with the Black Sun? Let's see. We have to lie to go on a moon mission. On top of this game. Mind is sharp. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I'm going to assume everything's cool in the chat. So let me jump back into the interesting stuff. Let's see what this one is.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on its birthday. On a birthday.
Well, child's happiness is priceless, right? Especially on a birthday.
They all try to add their own inflection and make it theirs, but they're all reading from a teleprompter. So what the reason he has this on his website is to share with you and show you you cannot trust the news. They're not the news. They're not informing. They're not independent journalists. They're actors. They're actors. They're reading from a teleprompter. Every one of these people.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially.
A child's happiness is priceless. Like, who even talks like that? God, I don't want to listen to this person at all. You know what I mean? Like, do you order food in that same voice? You know what I mean? A child's priceless and his happiness is blah, 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 blah.
Especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on their...
See how they rush through it? That's how you know it's not genuine. That's how AI talks. Because this is how, one of the reasons so far that I can tell the difference between AI and real people. Real people have like awkward silences. Yeah. Okay. AI can't do that. AI rushes through the dialogue as fast as it can because it's like, it's a script. This is what they're doing.
Birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially when it comes to their birthday.
Absolutely.
Look at that chick trying to improvise, trying to win an Academy Award. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm surprised she didn't say, oh, absolutely. People are conditioned to say oh before saying absolutely. I don't know why, but they all do that. They're actors just like the reporters in Die Hard. I know, they're all actors. That's crazy. This is mind-blowing. All right, you get the gist of that one. Let me see what else he's got on here. Oh, here's Buzz Aldrin. What is he doing? Hold on, let me see what he says.
You really like attention, don't you? You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Okay, time out. I would like to comment on that one. Personally, Bart, I feel you deserve to get okay, I want to say this. I got to be careful how I say this. I understand why Buzz Aldrin socked you in the face. You just got up in that guy's face and you called him a bunch of names, dude. Regardless, like those, you had kind of asked for that, buddy. Like, okay, a lot of people are going to say, oh, he punched him because, you know, he asked him to swear on the Bible. No, you got in the dude's face and you started calling him names. So that one's not too convincing for me. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this one's classic. This is allegedly authentic, real footage of the moon. This is on the other side. Okay, so if the moon's 200,000 miles away, give or take, right? Whatever it is. I don't really care what the number is because it's not real either way. I could say 10 billion miles away. It would be the same thing to me as 280,000 or whatever the number is. So I don't bother to memorize that number. I don't really care. Hey, there's a J. It's a J cloud. Hold on. Look at that. It's a J cloud. How cool. Anyways, this is supposed to be the moon. So this is further than 200,000 miles away, looking back at the dark side of the moon. NASA says this is authentic footage, okay? Pictures, footage, whatever. This is authentic, according to NASA. Looking back at the dark side of the moon, okay? And there's like a shadow between the Earth and the sun, or the moon and the Earth or whatever. And look at this. Does this strike you as real at all? It's hilarious. How clean it is. Everything. It's so not realistic looking. Look at this sunspot that's like obvious there. Obviously not real. All right, hold on. I got somebody in the chat that just gave me a donation. Woundsocket Truth Seeker says Crow 777 has some great sun footage that's very new. Interesting. Maybe not just a point of focus. It's fascinating. We love you, Jay. Well, I might check it out. I might come across it one of these days. I mean, I'm open. I'm open to other ideas. Look at this crazy cloud. Yeah, I'm open to other people's theories and ideas and stuff, but I'm definitely not one to just instantly believe it right away. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got. What is this one? Getting waxed? I don't know what that one is. What is this? This is an old one. I like these old ones.
This award-winning series is presented each week at this time by American Trust Company, serving...
I love watching this old stuff. I'm going to skip to the good parts, though, if there are any. What is this dude talking about?
Detectors and a transmitter designed by Dr. Van Allen's group.
Over here in this next section, we have sketched the...
Do you hear how they talk, too? Even all the people in the 50s, the way that they spoke. At least here in the United States. Over here in the other section, we've got, you know what I mean? Like that weird, nasally, strange sound, that weird accent that they had.
Orbit of Explorer 1. And I notice that down here it's very close to the Earth, whereas up here it's quite far apart. That is quite...
I mean, they all sound the same. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, whoever this guy is, I don't even know who he is. He sounds like every dude from the 50s. Almost every dude that's been on television. That's like, why do they speak like that? You know what I mean? It's because people just copy one another. One person who's the cool guy in the group, he'll have his own thing. He'll do his own thing. Other people start trying to sound like him. And then pretty soon you got like hundreds of thousands of people all sound like that and represent an entire decade.
At a distance from the Earth, perhaps you could put that mileage indicator 200 miles at that point, and then I will put this one up here, which indicates 1,500 miles from the Earth. At this section.
Okay.
Well, this is what brought the first surprise, Earl. At the 200-mile level, the counting rate was just as expected. But as the satellite went to higher altitudes, above 600 miles, the radiation increased and then dropped to zero.
Well, that would seem to indicate that perhaps there was no radiation up here, and yet everything I read has said that the further you go out, the more radiation you pick up.
That's right, Earl. That's just what happens. And this left Dr. Van Allen with only one explanation. He quite naturally assumed that his detectors weren't working properly. The chance came to check this experiment when
this one's kind of boring. Sorry, but I can't do that one. This one is interesting. This guy says we can't get past...
Greetings, friends and fellow citizens of America. This is Brother Bart's Conspiracy Corner News.
What's up, Brother Bart?
Above Earth.
Okay, check this out. This part cracks me up. Here's NASA telling you they can't figure out how to get to the moon. We got to figure it out.
15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation.
Dangerous radiation that apparently the Apollo mission flew through unshielded over 55 years ago for an hour. There and back.
Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Now,
yeah, he's not even talking about the humans on board, which is crazy. It could damage all of the electronic equipment.
Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice. Once up and once back.
Sure do. Theoretically. There's also a dome that you have to pass through too.
But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation.
But Orion has protection. Shielding.
Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Yeah, they have to figure out how to do it again, allegedly. I don't buy it. Sorry. They say that they destroyed the technology. They can't figure out how to get back to the moon and stuff. God, man, I don't even... I'm flabbergasted that anybody could just believe that. That's the Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you're looking for. Watch. Here's another one.
Greetings, friends. Of all the clues.
Where is it?
And I'll be glad to put in the description of this video
the link to it.
And they still think we've done. He took the computer and the schematics and threw them into the furnace.
Did I miss it?
That did not happen. Well, let me...
Hold on. Did I miss that one? Oh, here it is right here.
Going to take a look at it again. Here's what they said they did with this amazing technology.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
Does this dude sound intellectual? I'm just saying, let's be judgmental for a moment, okay? Let me do an impression. I I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. Problem is, we destroyed that technology.
And it's a painful process to build it back again.
It's a painful process to build it back. Like, are you even joking? Forget, I don't care. Like, I'm not making fun of people who have lisps or anything like that. But God, okay? Listen to the people speak. It blows my mind how many intellectual people I've heard speak don't even know how to speak. They don't know how to ask questions. They don't know how to formulate sentences correctly. They don't even know how to respond to a direct question. Let's listen to that again. Yeah. Just listen to this guy. Just be super judgmental for a moment.
Did with this amazing technology.
Okay? Watch his face. Does he strike you as the cream of the crop astronaut? Okay? Listen to this.
Technology.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Well, you know, it's really interesting.
Are you even joking? Okay? Listen. I'm walking a fine line right now. Let me acknowledge this, okay? I'm walking a fine line. I'm not purposefully trying to put this individual down as an individual. Okay? What I am doing is I am blowing up something and making it larger than life through mimicry to make a point to you people so that you can see these are the types of people who are clearly, listen, sometimes you have to be judgmental. Okay? That doesn't mean you're trying to, like, I don't want it, like, I wouldn't say this to this guy's face, like, hey, dude, you look retarded, you look stupid, or whatever. I wouldn't do that. Okay? That's evil. That's bad. Okay? What I can do, and I can be funny about it too. I don't mind. I like being funny and stuff. Okay? So the reason I'm pointing this out is because I make a point. I don't want to, there are those out there. They're probably just evil people. So it's a moot point for me even to explain myself. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. There's people out there who will say, JayDreamerZ, you don't like intellectual bullies. You don't like people that make fun of other people or whatever. To a degree, it depends. Okay. On your spirit. It depends on what you're doing. Okay. Like, ask comedians why they are okay with doing what they do or whatever. I'm being a comedian right now, but I'm speaking the truth in jest by making fun of this guy to over-exemplify the little nuances of evidence that are evident by his body language and his eyes and his, lisp and all these things that he has going for him to tell me that he's not the utmost, the best of the best of the best with honors, sir, the cream of the crop, astronaut heroes, and all this bullshit that we've been fed. Okay? That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing it to put him down personally and say, oh my God, dude, you're stupid. You're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. No. What I am doing is saying he's the hero of your common person. And if this is the hero, if this is the person that they're looking up to, and this is their, what's the word I'm looking for? Frick. Guide or whatever. What's the damn word? What's the word when you look up to somebody and mentor, whatever it is, right? These are the mentors, okay? These are the people that your children have been looking up to and wanting to be like and emulate. And so they're okay talking like this to one another at school at even lesser levels. Jesus. All right, let me jump in the chat. I know it's kind of funny. The dude's, he's an astronaut. If he was just a regular dude at McDonald's, it would be nothing. But I expect more from the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? Miami says, looks like a deer in headlights. Right, what do you mean, you people? That's funny. Jay, maybe the light is outside the firmament. My chat froze. Sorry, one sec. Let's see, we got Miami. I really appreciate that you type in @JayDreamerZ when you're talking to me and trying to get my attention. Not a lot of people do that. Let's see. Oh, I have a phone call.
To do that anymore.
Why do I have a phone call right now? 1 second. I think this is my son.
Please press 1 to accept.
It's my little boy. Jace!
Hello?
Hi, my little boy. What's up?
Hey, Mom wanted me to call you to ask if it's okay if we exchange tomorrow at like 10:20 because Mom needs to go to work at like 10:30.
Yeah, 10:20 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell Mom, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Exchange back on Friday. What time they exchange back on Friday?
We'll do same time.
Okay, love you. Yeah.
Okay, love you too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that's my little boy. He was calling me. All right. Let me jump back in the chat here. Let's see. We got JMO in the chat who says, JayDreamerZ, so you think all the astronauts are lying? Dave Weiss says, yes, except for Don Pettit. He probably actually thinks that he went. I don't know which one Don Pettit. Oh, this guy. Oh, this guy. Right. Okay. Yeah, he that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can fool the people, the best way to fool them is to fool these guys into thinking that they're doing what they're being told that they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the ultimate magic trick. All right, let's see what else we got. I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is, you know what I mean? Like, no wonder they haven't gone back to the moon. What else we got? What is this one?
Real light, which means it was taken.
Our single studio light is powerful enough for our experiments.
Oh, yeah, they're redoing the moon landing, filming it and stuff.
In our single light source.
Interviews of me aired, even if they're already spent tens of thousands of dollars paying me for it, flying me, putting me up in hotels.
Okay, I don't want to see this one. What else we got? Anything? Oh, JFK, that one's a little different. The Moon Man song, the moon landing fraud, deathbed confession. Advanced AI says that the moon pictures are fake. All right, well, that was Cybrel.com, SIBREL.com. And if you want to go there, you could check out all these videos that he has. Pretty cool. I also have a website. I'll show you guys my website since I'm on it. I'm about to do a moon one. So let me share something with you guys, okay? You guys probably know that I have a website, but many of you don't know there are secrets on my website. So we'll go to JayDreamerZ.com and I'll show you one of those secrets. There are things that we are not allowed to talk about directly on these platforms. This is my website, by the way. Hold on, let me make it bigger. So I have put those taboo subjects in secret places on my website. And let me see if I can figure out how to do this here. One sec. Phil, what's up, Phil? All right, that's good enough, I guess. That's cool. So this is my website, right? Let me give a shout out to Phil, who just sent 20 JayDreamerZ channel memberships to, like, so many people in the chat right now. 356 people watching as well. That's amazing. Mike Hawkburn says, JayDreamerZ, Don Pettit used to have been affected by the Van Allen belt exposure. He must have been in the Van Allen belts for a couple hours. I didn't know there was Van Allen belts. I guess we should figure that out. That's crazy. All right. All right, cool. Anyways, let me show you. Let me take you guys on a trip through my website here. I'm very proud of my website. This is, from time to time throughout the year, I am constantly adding to my website. So if I do a really strong presentation, if I have information that's like in my books or something I've discussed on the internet, I will add an entire page and dedicate an entire page to it on my website. So, for example, ancient Oblivion. Ancient Oblivion are things long ago that have been forgotten about, suppressed, or hidden. Okay? That oftentimes come in the form of fiction and fantasy. So, for example, elves, right? So, I believe there is truth to what we call today elves. And I think that one's free. If you get deeper into my website, some of these are behind a paywall. You got to be a member to access them. But that's how I make my living, so I don't mind. I exchange value for value. The Fractal Verse. This is one of my favorite ones. My new favorite one is about to be the Apex Dome. I'll show you that one too. Werewolves, Titans, the North Pole. So check this out. If you go to the North Pole, if you come with me to the North Pole, then you scroll. Now go slow because I've put animations on many things purposefully. Okay, so you should be reading through this, taking your time. Otherwise, you might miss some stuff that pops up. And some stuff I have purposefully delayed for some hidden things. Anyways, if you go all the way down to the North Pole, I'm just going to skip through. All the way to the bottom. Bam, 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 bam. Down here, it says under construction. I chose those words specifically, purposefully, and carefully. Because under construction would be, let me show you. Bam. So this is the under construction section. This is not going to be found on my tabs. So if you go to these tabs, you're not going to find this section anywhere on my website. You have to click on the secret link. It's like a speakeasy. Okay? So feel free. I highly encourage you to go check this particular section out. All right, I got lots of stuff going on here. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because my next one is going to be about the moon. Oh, snap. I love this music. I picked out all this music. Anyway, feel free to go check out my website. There's a 24-hour free cram session where you have full access to everything on my website. Take a screenshot. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do. Go knock yourselves out for 24 hours. I don't think anyone could actually get through all of the content on my website in 24 hours, but, take that as a challenge if you want. Let me show you some other stuff I've got. So in the main menu, the Hall of Flame. So I'll be adding new names to the Hall of Flame. These people on my Patreon, there's a special support tier, right? If you're on that support tier, even one time, your name will be added to my website forever. So this is a special dedication for people that support my work by sending like a one-time donation through Patreon. I think it's $50. I can't remember how much it is, but your name will be added and be here forever, like an eternal credits, basically. And these are the people who are there so far. I don't know if there's any new people yet because I haven't checked Patreon, and I'll do that probably tomorrow. But anyways, the Esoteric Library, let's check that out. This is literally a library. Hold on, let me see if I can scooch this out a bit. Oh, I thought that was my phone. My phone makes that same sound with the notifications. But that's actually the webpage. So what this is over 10,000. It says right here, there are over 10,000 books in this collection. This collection was gifted to me, I don't know, 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I think. It was gifted to me. It's a huge collection of esoteric material. And it's all in order too. And you can search it too. I added a little search feature. It's behind me. You can't really see. Here, let me jump out of the way real quick. All right, so you can click search over here if you want to. You can type in like map if you want to look for maps or something. And boom, it'll pull up everything that has maps. And it's a lot. There's 10,000 volumes. Arcane maps in the Esoteric Library. So there's cartography over here. Let's click on arcane maps. Let's see what that is. All right, cool. Well, that didn't really take us to arcane maps, did it? Wait, hold on. I'm getting lost in my own website. One sec. right, let's try maps again. Maps. Let's just do maps. All right, cool. Maps and cartography. So we're going to click on cartography. Maps. There we go. So we got Over the Rockies, the discovery of mapping, blah, blah, blah. A book called The Treasure for Treasuries. A lot of these are really old too. A lot of these are over 100 years old. Most of them, I would say. Map drawing. So you can learn anything you want to about cartography in this whole entire section. It basically pulled up cartography. Sometimes I have people who actually add to the library. So this one was actually added by Arkshine. She added Children of the Trees PDF. And these are all PDFs that you can download. All right, so let me find something that's more interesting to me personally. Hold on. So let's go to let's just refresh the page. All right, so let's go to, oh, I know. Let's go to like cuneiform, demonology, Far East myths and legends, Freemasonry. Let's go to Freemasonry. That one's popular. That one's one I like. All right, there's lots of stuff here. So you want to learn about Albert Pike, for example? Boom, click on that one. There's 15 different documents in here, 15 different PDFs that you can download and keep forever. Indo-Aryan deities and worship, letters to the Grand Commander, blah, blah, blah. There's all kinds of stuff about Albert Pike, just in that one folder. Anyways, there's lots of stuff to see there. Let me jump back in here. Then we have Plasma Apocalypse. So there's lots of stuff to learn about in the Plasma Apocalypse. They're not in order right now because I have to actually move the Apex Dome. I might put that at the bottom. I tried to put these in order, you know, from like the beginning things, like the omens and the first things that happen and the next things that happen and stuff. I tried to kind of put them in order, and I'll be reworking this as I go. But let's say you don't know what a phantazoid is, right? I've got a section here that says enter the phantazoids. Here, how do I scooch this over? All right, let's go Plasma Apocalypse. Oh, that's better. Enter the phantazoids. You see that? So what is a phantazoid, right? You want to know more about that? It's not made up by the government. The government doesn't use the word phantazoid. Just in case you're watching Y-Files. I'm just kidding. Enter the phantazoids. So you can learn all about what is a phantazoid. I've got lots of pictures, images, articles, music. Hopefully I turned that music off in time. Explanations. Here's a little tardigrade and stuff. And it's pretty in-depth, actually. Here's one of my videos about phantazoids. So I've added my videos to my website as well. Classifications, families within, families and classifications, mythic creature comparisons, gigantism in our world, fog monsters, the locus of revelation, etc. Oh, I need to scooch this down a little bit. You could go on to the next one at the bottom. Just click the next one. And boom, you can learn all about the plasma tentacles. And I use a lot of pop culture references and stuff like that. But anyways, my website's pretty sweet. And I think you guys would have a good time checking it out if you have time to read or whatever. All right, let's get out of here. What else have I got here? I'm gonna stop screen sharing. I don't have my chat up right now, so give me a second. Screen share. I think I'm getting tired. Maybe that's the problem. Where's the screen share? Oh, window capture. There it is. Boom. There we go. All right, cool. Let me jump back in the chat. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff on my computer here. Okay, cool. Jumping back into the chat, I see Faith Robinson's in the chat and says China and India trying to get in on the action. What's up with that? So for me personally, I don't believe in divided countries. I believe that all of the countries are a part of a larger corporation that's related to all of the prior survivors of apocalyptic cycles. And therefore, they're basically helping one another out I don't think they're divided whatsoever. I think the whole space race and all that stuff is they're all working together, that there is no division. There are no wars between one another. The war that they have is against their own people every single time. And that's how I see that. All right. Let's see. Okay, I got a few things here in the chat. Gene says, JayDreamerZ, tons of fun on your site. The Fantazoid stuff is rad. Oh, good. Thank you. I can name that tune in 3 notes. Black Hole Sun, you're right. I have that on my website twice. I didn't even realize that. All right, we got Sabrina, who's in the chat, and says, JayDreamerZ, every time I want to learn, I realize I don't. Every time I want to learn, I realize I don't. I begin to remember learning or knowing as soon as I identify the actual truth. I can't explain when our speech is being censored. Very good. Let's see. We got population 3 billion between China and India. Programming? Possibly. Jopo Dogo is in the chat and says, greetings from Helsinki, Finland. Hey, that's cool. God, that's so cool. I'm so honored that like people from around the world tune in. I've been watching your live streams and videos for quite a while now. I love the content. Hey, that's cool. Man, I wish there was a way I could like get my videos in other languages, you know? Like I'm glad that English, I'm thankful I speak English because so many people do. And hopefully my English is, you know, good enough for people in other countries, you know, to understand. That's what I hope. But man, Finland, wow, that's so cool. I could probably look up and see how many people in Finland like watch my channel or are subscribed at the very least. But it's just really cool. Jenny says she has Finnish DNA. Ooh. All right. Anything else? I think that might be it for tonight. So I'm going to wrap things up. I've had a good time. I've had a good time chatting with you guys. Do look for more to come this year. 2026 should be an exciting year. If all goes well, if all goes according to plan, my channel should be even more exciting than it has been in prior years. I've got a lot of stuff planned. I'm going to be making way more appearances. I'm actually going to put out a schedule so you guys can count on me and know exactly when I'll be live streaming stuff. I'll just give you a hint. It's going to be 5 o'clock my time almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day. You can count on me to be right here talking about something. And I'm going to be doing Truth in Music. That's a huge addition. So on Sundays, probably Sundays, I'm going to be doing Truth in Movies. I'm going to go full on Truth in Movies, and Mondays are going to be Truth in Music. So I'm going to be picking out something in the music world to talk about as well. We'll share the truth in the music world or the esoteric, right? And what else? I have it on my whiteboard. That's why I keep looking over there. Wednesdays and Thursdays, those are kind of going to be my tentative days off because I have every Wednesday and Thursday with my son. But I might do stuff on those days. You never know. That's why it's good to hit the bell. And Fridays, I'll be doing something about Ancient Oblivion and the Plasma Apocalypse. Saturdays, every Saturday, I'm going to try to have a guest. So I'm going to try to be doing my cryptic collaborations with somebody. And I've got a lot of people in mind. So if you think I would make a good guest on other channels, I highly encourage you to go tell those other channels that I would make a sweet guest. Eddie Bravo, if you're watching, bro, I promise we will get way more hyped up and I'll give you way more information than John Levi did. No offense, John Levi. I think you're great. But I felt like Eddie Bravo was sad. I felt like he was sad when he had John Levi on. I'm excited, bro. I will not be quiet. You and I will have dialogue. We'll have conversation. And I'll be the same way no matter whose channel I go on. So if you know people that would like to have more guests on their show, let them know to reach out to me. Give them my email address. It's jaydreamers.guest@gmail.com. That's strictly a business email address. It's not for people to say hello or anything. Or emergencies, I suppose. And it's not an emergency if you really need to tell me that you have all the truth figured out and you need to send me 12 paragraphs as to what that means or whatever. No offense, but that's not what that's for. It's mostly so I can talk to people for business, so I can have guests or be a guest or, talk to people about my books or sales and stuff. It's really a business email address. But feel free to give it out to people who, you know, who have shows like Danny Jones. This Danny Jones guy. Let him know. I'll be on your show. I'll give you the most important, interesting discussion that I feel like a person could ever have in their entire life. And we'll get the ears of the people. We'll have people wondering and researching and figuring and, you know, thinking about important stuff. Anyways, I'm going to take off. You guys have a great rest of your night. Happy New Year to you all. I'll probably do some kind of maybe an Omens collab. Like I was thinking about taking all the Omens episodes from this year and putting them all together for a video tomorrow and just playing a compilation all day tomorrow, maybe. So look out for that. I might do that. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
Dear Santa, I would like the apocalypse for Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Merry apocalypse, JayDreamerZ.